morning, everyone. We'll start our meeting this morning. I asked JP to start off with God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, everyone. Please bow our heads. As we gather here today as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make it a better world. Amen.
We have 4 visiting Rotarians today. Happy Labor Day weekend, everyone. Bill Weber, our past district governor. Frequent visitor Jeff Legg. From Whitehall, the new club, John Orsini. And from Allentown and Katie, I've heard it pronounced both ways. Katie Labuda? Labuda, thank you.
We have one more.
I know.
Don't mess with
Okay.
clerks.
And please tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Denise Continenza, and I'm with the Whitehall Area Rotary and the membership chair.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And our Sergeant at Arms Emeritus has a very special guest, Kira Dries.
Good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I am Rick Zayas. I only say that for our guests, not for any of you guys, because I'm pretty sure you all know who I am.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, John. Special announcement last week at the board meeting, we did take a vote for our new second vice president. I would like you all to give Mike a round of applause. Mike Liddell is our new second vice president. So in the newsletter, I gave some things up in the newsletter I don't think I should ever do, because I had Wilmer come up to me and try and recite my name for myrotary.com. Folks, I really want you to go out to myrotary.com, put your information in, also do it on emmausrotary.com for our club runner. And the reason for that is, first of all, it's for presidential citation for this year. Everybody in the club has to be on the roster and has to be up to date. That gives us one click so we can get our presidential citation for the year. The second thing is, so we know who the heck we have here. We have 35 people with ages we have no idea how old you are. Okay? And Wilmer, I understand, okay? Right? And Steve, I get it, okay? You're 22 in a 48-year-old man's body. It's okay. I get it.
46, thanks.
46, I'm sorry. I'll tell Renee she was wrong. Right, please, if you don't know how to do it, call me, email Mark Earl, email John Chiska, Steve Gould, any one of us on the board will help you out. And if we don't know the answer, we'll certainly go out and get it for you. Okay? All right. John, you want to say something about the Masters tickets?
Golf is coming up on September 10th, 2 weeks away. What? Week and a half, I guess, yeah. We have more gross revenue than we had last year, but we're still taking sponsorship, so if anyone is interested, last minute, this is the last week. If you are an Eagle or Birdie sponsor and the event sponsor, of course, if you want anything or have anything for the bags, please get that to my office, Mario or I, by Tuesday at noon. We're packing bags Tuesday evening. We do need some volunteers for the table, the check-in, the regulars. I don't know if Mario contacted you yet, but if he did not, he will. Thank you. We're at 110 golfers, I think, 109 or 111. It goes back and forth about every day. Should be a good tournament. We have 165 tickets basically sold for Masters, and so we're at break even. Every additional ticket's profit to the club. So we can still sell tickets, sell them online, sell them in person, sell them the day of. The drawing will be the 10th for the weekend of the Masters. All expenses paid, taxes paid. Thank you, everyone, and please continue to do your part to sell. Good.
Any other announcements? Ralph?
Just to remind everybody that I will be collecting food for the meeting at our next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Bill?
I just wanted to mention or remind people, although there have been challenges in the past for people showing up to the assignments, I have a feeling a lot of people don't realize that E-Ray is now in that rotation. Weeks on end, people aren't showing up for it, so I have a feeling that people aren't paying attention. I'll try to get a email blast out to everybody, but for example, the person that are next week and the person supposed to be here today is not here. So the ones that are here the message. So keep in mind that E-Ray is now in the alphabetical rotation for assignment at the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Gary?
So, Nicole's not here today. I want to thank everybody who came out and volunteered at Wheels of Time this weekend. I always have a fun time doing it, making the egg sandwiches. It's always a good time. We earn money for doing that, and more to come on that. We're going to probably do a project where we're going to do, the board voted to approve to take those funds and purchase a tree for the country park. So I thought that would be a great idea. So we're going to do that when the time comes around. Also, don't forget Be the Inspiration Day. So mark it on your calendar. It's October 20th. We're probably going to be doing some projects throughout that week. The way it's kind of starting to line up, I have three to four solid projects. Still trying to put together a couple more. So anybody has any ideas, please shoot them to me in an email. Can't guarantee we can get everything done, but we'll look at anything and see what we can do, or it might be a future project. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Gary. All right. Raffle. Who has a raffle? Oh, sorry. I think you're over there. Sorry. Forgive me.
There's another side to this.
Stand up.
Well, even though it feels like summer, it's almost over and it's time for Angel Network to start collecting again. So I've assigned us to collect deodorants. Until March 12th, you can bring it into any meeting and we'll fill baskets. November 12th is the collection day, the end of it. So anytime between now and then, bring deodorant, please.
Men, women, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
No.
Thank you very much for doing that, Eileen. All right, Jeff.
Hey,
Raffle?
raffle. We're drawing 3 tickets today. Fred's gonna draw the first ticket, and then I'll get the $30. First ticket, 311. John Zayas. All right. Next ticket, Roger.
Reach it down in
Come
there,
on.
Roger.
You're really mixing them up.
Come on, Roger.
And the result is 308.
Yeah. Close.
So, all right. Yeah. Bill?
I'm sorry, other Rotary Club cannot win.
New members can, but not prospects.
Too late.
Our final winner is 322. Mike? No? Oh, Jim.
Jim Ritter.
All right, here we go.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Don, are you ready?
I believe I am. I've received dollars already from people leaving early. A couple people over at that table. I'm not sure if visiting Rotarians are aware, if we have to make them aware, but advertising a business name on a shirt is a finable offense. So do I fine them? Do I fine the president for not telling them?
Okay, so here's the deal.
President, find the president.
Since I do not schedule the guest speakers, that is the president-elect. You have to find the president-elect. That would be Mr. Gold.
Steve's getting fined for his picture with somebody in the paper, and it was a color picture, that's $5, Steve.
I'll make it 10.
But John Chiska, he was kind of trying to threaten me. He says you can either fine me or I'll bring a basket to the golf outing. So that's a fine. Just because you're trying to threaten the sergeant at arms, that's ridiculous, right? Do you have $5 yet?
I'm not saying anything.
Steve, you're a smart man.
Yeah. I do like that you wore your name badge, because there are some visiting people that don't know what a name badge is. So I think
President was on top of it.
the president was on top of that, yes. I mean, I could blame the people at the desk too, that they don't give you a name badge. Is that right? You didn't get a name badge?
That's correct.
That's what it was. You guys didn't get a name badge, so you don't have one on. So I should just find the people at the table.
Correct.
All right. Is there a training seminar coming up to train the people at the head table?
It's a 2-day seminar.
All right.
It's overnight.
And speaking of attire, Mark Earl.
Well, we're heading down the preseason game.
What's the preseason game at 10 in the morning?
Starts next week.
I'm
That's almost
mentally
like
prepared.
advertising on a shirt.
That's true, I guess.
All right.
But I am wearing this to work today.
I don't really care what you wear.
He usually wears his pajamas.
Probably has to go to the university.
Okay. Wow, you want change?
I'd like it, I guess.
Well, it's gonna be a while. I better get a lot of happy dollars. Personally, I'd like to thank you. Even though he is Sergeant at Arms Emeritus, he barely comes on time, but because you're here, he was on time today.
Stop. I want to make a point of order from last week's board meeting. When JP was there, he was hiding an advertising shirt
Not hiding, I was wearing a sport coat.
under his sport coat. And when he stretched, I saw it and I brought it up, and also it was noted that he had no socks on.
That is also.
And I think it should be $5 for interest.
For interest carried over.
That's not usury. I wasn't late today. So you better collect it from him.
I was waiting for a rebuttal, but there doesn't seem to be any, so I guess he's acquiescing.
I just let an amateur hour continue.
There you go. Happy dollars, anybody?
I am just extremely happy to have shared in the best breakfast in the Rotary District this morning, which happens to be at the second best Rotary Club.
So I think you have that backwards. Dale.
Yeah, I'm happy to say stuff at the bill. But at the same time, I'm very happy that I have one of my grandchildren here, the lovely Miss Kira Cruz, and she is my best buddy going fishing. She's the only person that I've ever fished with that catches fish. With a bare hook.
Oh, really?
No bait on it. She stands on the edge of the boat and says, "Grab that hook, sucker!" But I'm very pleased that I have her here for breakfast. I'm going to be taking her to school shortly.
Sign her up for Rotary, she sounds like a woman.
Yeah, so.
Do you want to stand up? or-
Sure.
All right. We can hear you better when you stand
I've had a
up.
little bit of time to think about this. What was I getting fined for?
Picture?
Picture? My picture in the paper?
Your wife. Your wife.
That's not my picture.
Oh, you're responsible.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Gordy's probably more of the final
Oh,
side of that.
no.
It's his daughter. I mean,
Whose name does she have now?
Was that for your daughter?
she actually kept her middle name as Sean. Sean's school, so we would share that fine. Right, Gordy?
All right, that's 5 to you and 5 to him,
Oh, I like that.
but he doesn't have any money, so it's funny.
That's great. That went right the way I wanted it.
Yeah, perfect the way you wanted it.
Always wins.
I'm really not happy.
Oh.
I came here this morning, I got chastised for advertising, I had to cover up my company logo here. So I'm gonna pay the fine, but since I paid for the advertising.
Nicely done, Mr. President.
I have $2 happy, because I like Mark's jerseys.
I have some happy dollars. I had a great time last Friday. Those of you that missed the baseball game and the fireworks, it was an awesome time. It was really good. I will try and get that again next year for us. Similar area will be fine with you guys, if that's okay?
Fireworks.
Gotta get a Friday night fireworks, all right, I will do that. Because they were themed, fireworks were themed green, I believe. So that was very nice, yes. Is that all the happiness we got going on? Oh, all right, good.
Well, I'm sorry I missed the fireworks, because I wanted to go, and also helping out. I love the Wheels of Time. But we have a tradition, two friends of mine, one has a condo with her husband, and we kind of were switching around dates, so we got to go, and I got to go on a vacation for like 4 days, and she has a wonderful place, like a block and a half from the beach, and it was wonderful weather at Wildwood. So, and the kids had mostly go back to school, so I'm so happy I got to go. And, so, sorry I missed everything else, but next time, it's fun. And I am so happy to be here today because I'm like the world's greatest plagiarist, and I'm getting all these great ideas. I'm taking notes of all the neat things you do and the fun stuff. So I think Rotary is just a wonderful place to learn from each other. So thank you for having me.
So, I was reminded when the comment was made about the Wheels of Time. Really enjoyed that event every year and helping out, and really encourage people, if you haven't done those type of service activities, it's a great way to deepen your relationships, friendships with other people in the club. And I want to thank Gary and the rest of the community service group for helping coordinate that event. And they had great weather this weekend too, which was fantastic. So really enjoyed that, encourage people to participate in the future.
Thank you, Mark. Sorry.
Robert, do you have something to say? Your hands up.
Thank you. So for the visiting presidents, one of the things we do is if you don't hear everything at this meeting, you may ask RotaryYouTube.com. We do take a, what would you call it?
Video.
A video of our meeting. John Chisk is our head of social media, and he always gives me lots of grief, and I give him, I'm a good straight man. So anyway, so if you have any, if you think it's a good way for people to make up meetings, number one, so they get to see what's happening, what's going on in the club. Steve, would you like to come up and introduce our special guest this morning?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sorry I missed last week. I heard it was an awesome presentation. That's Woody. Remember, I have served as Sergeant at Arms, which means that I can still fine.
No, it doesn't.
No.
All right, so we'll move on. We have a very special presentation this morning that affects us all in Rotary. I'd like to introduce Dave Czarnecki. Dave lives in Boyertown. He's engaged to be married. He owns and operates Zarstar Security. He is the past president of the Pottstown Club, and he currently serves as the membership co-chair there. And he is also serving as our district membership chair. So everyone please, he's here today to talk about membership in Rotary.
He's also going to advertise.
And he has advertising because he's in Rotary. He knows what he's doing. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Dave Czarnecki.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. So as Steve said, I'm past president of the Pottstown Club. And about 4 years ago, we were about 55 members, and we're around 90 members now. So 2 years ago, Herb Klotz came down to find out what we were doing. And basically, we went out and we built relationships with the community and all of our friends. So how do we do that? We did that in many ways. One, we try to talk about membership at every meeting for about a minute. You know, what did you do about bringing a new member in? Did you wear your pin? As I did, I went to the Phillies game last night, and I almost came right here from the Phillies game. They played a little late last night. So, but they did win, so that was a good thing if you fell asleep before that big, exciting game. But I did see a grand slam last night, so that was fun. But getting back to Rotary, you know, it's a business, but it's a volunteer business. So it's everybody's, we're gonna grow the business so we can do more service. As Cindy, your district governor, more people, more service, you know, that's her motto, one of her mottos this year. So how do we get that accomplished? So this was a webinar that we did last year about membership. And there was two different things that we did. There was two different people. So this is our membership 5-year trend. And if you can see that we were up at around 1840 and you see a dip, but then we start coming back a little bit. So every club in the district is a little different. We started 2 new clubs last year. Whitehall's here this year and or here at the meeting. And we also started a club up in Upper Perk, which is a club that closed up about 12 years ago, and we brought them back. And what we did was, in Upper Perk, I didn't really visit Whitehall, but in Upper Perk, what we did was we went to the local chamber. We went to the businesses. Remember, Rotary started with 4 business people, okay? I don't know if they wore their emblems to the meetings, but or their shirts, but again, it started with 4 business people. So how did those guys start the Rotary? You know, they met, they became friends, they built relationships, okay? And again, it's not that Rotary is about business, but another thing that you typically get asked is, you think people need to own a company, okay? I get that, oh, I don't own a company, I can't be a Rotarian, okay? But it's the service. So one of the things that we did was, we started having these mixers. So when I first joined Rotary about 16, 17 years ago, we used to have an open house. We showed all the great things that we did. The service part of our business is, I think, the easy part, okay? It's how do we retain members, how do we get members to come in? So what we did was, we started these mixers, but we passed the microphone around the room, because I wanted to learn who's in the room. We actually had, at one of our meetings, we had the caterer join, because we heard about all the good things, because we don't just pass to the visitors, we pass it around to the Rotarians in the room. Because there might be somebody that comes in, that's a realtor, okay? Well, I would like to talk to that realtor, because that's the type of business I'm in. So now I'm building a relationship with that person. Classifications, not that we're getting rid of classifications at Pottstown, but what we did was, we might have 6 or 7 attorneys in our club, but again, we're building relationships because we want to do service in our community and then eventually around the world. So again, most people join because they want to do the service after they learn about the Rotary Club, but it's typically they want to do local service. The international stuff comes later, I think, where if you can send your members to trainings. I don't know if you pay for trainings. We try to pay for the trainings if you're going to go. We try to encourage the trainings. We encourage the district conferences. We try to get those people out. I think that helped me a lot, just to get involved in Rotary. So again, imagine if you're new in this room, you sit down, and if you don't build a relationship with that person, it's tough to come back. So what we did in these mixers was, it's a network mixer. We advertise this as a business mixer. You know, you're gonna get the guys that come, or the women that come that wanna sell, right? You're always gonna get that, even if anybody in the room goes to network mixers now, there's always those couple people that, they barely shake your hand and they're already trying to sell you something, all right? So with the Rotary clubs, I feel that if you soft sell the Rotary, but build a relationship, build a friendship, now that I'm friends with Steve, okay, I wanna hang out with him, make hot dogs, pick up trash, you know, because on the weekend, we're just one big happy family, right? It's nice to see people from different clubs come and visit, right? Like the one person said about, you know, hey, what do you guys do different? Maybe I bring a little bit of that back to my club and keep that momentum going. So for instance, we have a 50-50. I think our 50-50 is up over $1,100. We'll get a couple extra members showing up at our meeting because the money box is up over $1,100, okay? So, and then there's actually, sometimes we actually, if you can't make a meeting, I give money to people because I'm not gonna make the meeting to buy me tickets, you know? So, and I'll split the pot with them or something, but it's just, again, it's that fun, and I can call somebody to make that happen. So, I don't know, again, I didn't talk to the membership chair, I'm gonna talk to him afterwards, but I don't know if you guys have a plan. I just was at West Reading, they just came up with they got 7 people to join their membership committee. They're starting to head the wrong direction, so now they made a plan, they have a strategic plan on how they're gonna bring in new members. Again, look at things like, when do you meet? You know, do you wanna throw a happy hour in? Do you wanna, you know, for some reason, I think we do very well because I'll admit that I think we have a drinking problem in Pottstown. So we have evening meetings, okay? We just turned 100 years old this past year. I'm not gonna change the way we meet. We're not gonna start doing, you know, different meetings. We've been meeting, I think, for 100 years in the evening on a Wednesday. But what we do is meetings start at 6:30. Most of us show up at 5:30. And we do a lot of fellowship at the bar. But again, we also have meetings before the meeting, you know, we have meetings after, we have board meetings, things like that, just like most clubs do, okay? We're very busy. The other thing that we tell people is we're looking for busy people, okay? Busy people typically are the people that are out in the community that you're looking for. So even if you bring people to these mixers and they don't engage with you, get them on the mailing list. If you use the Club Runner, okay, there's a place where you can put friends. So they get our bulletin every week. You never know what's gonna catch their eye, okay? Maybe they have a lot of deodorant. They'll bring it over to your meeting because you're asking for that, okay? But it could be something that's simple, okay? That, you know, they wanna get involved in that type of part of your community. The other thing is what we try to sell is, the more members they have, you know, again, there's always that 20% rule typically, that they're on every committee, they're doing everything, they're the busy people. But also, if I can get somebody involved in 2 projects a year, okay, wouldn't that be great, okay? Because that's gonna build, that's how I joined Rotary. I joined because I was saying to Steve that I had a competitor that went bankrupt, and I had a member of the Pottstown Club that asked me to join Rotary. The only thing I ever knew about Rotary was we used to get an exchange student at Board Town every year. And one year it was from Brazil, and he was great for the soccer team. Other than that, you know, I didn't know I thought that's what Rotary was brought kids back and forth from different countries, right? So the thing is do you have your elevator speech? You know, you guys can have a meeting just about talking about your elevator speech about Rotary, you know? So again, like we'll have membership nights that we just talk about in like a community hall type of thing, a town hall type of talk about how do you sell Rotary when you're out in the public, okay? Everybody has pins on, fantastic, okay? Start a lot of conversations. So those things that you're just thinking about, you know, I went to a club that had a lunch meeting, and they have lunch meetings on Thursday. I was like, who do you have lunch with on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays? is probably people that you like, might be a good Rotarian. Again, not everybody's gonna be a Rotarian, but they can be a supporter for your projects, okay? I have friends, when I knock on their door, they usually shut it because I'm usually asking for a check, okay? But again, I have those friends that support. They're not gonna join the club, but they'll come out and help us sometimes, and sometimes it's easier, you know, if you gotta sell 10 raffle tickets, sometimes it's just easier to buy them, right, than to sell them. So you have those people that are like that. So get them on your mailing list and teach them what we're gonna do. The other club that I was gonna talk to you about was the Doylestown Club, which went to a happy hour club. And they meet for an hour, half an hour of business and a half an hour of fellowship. So there's different ways to think about how you can grow your club. One of the things that I just presented in Pottstown 2 weeks ago is to start a service group. So what we're gonna do down in Pottstown is, we have some pushback, and again, I'm not sure how your club runs, but our club costs you about $1,000 a year to be a member. There's a lot of clubs in our district, pay as you go, charge $150, $200 a year. So one of the things that I got pushback on was, hey, I don't have the time to come to meetings, I wanna help, so I'm gonna start this service group up. It's gonna be $200 a year. We're gonna require certain things. We're gonna require that they do 2 service projects a year. There's no meetings involved. What we did do start in Pottstown was, because we meet in the evening, we have people that have kids, we have people that are in their 20s and 30s that have joined the club. So it's fantastic that we're getting younger people in the club. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going after my friends' kids, right? So, and again, I had a big initiative to grow the club, okay? I wanted to get over 100 members when we were 100 years old. So we were a little shy of that this year. But we're still heading in the right direction. And again, you have people that move, you have people that unfortunately pass away, so you're gonna have that attrition. But again, what's your plan to replace that attrition, okay? What's that plan of who you want to bring into your club to grow your club, okay? What kind of members are you looking for? So you could also start a corporate membership. You're gonna hear that a lot in the district. And actually, I went to a zone membership meeting, and a lot of clubs are starting young professionals. Sometimes they give you a discount if you're under a certain age to be a member. There's spouses, family memberships that you're seeing. Corporate memberships, we're also gonna start a corporate membership up in Pottstown, where we're gonna actually charge $1,900 a year. That's gonna allow 2 members to be registered with RI. We're gonna allow 4 other members from that company to come to meetings. So again, we're trying to get that company involved in our community. So like for instance, we have the Hill School in our back door and the Pottstown Hospital. So we have the CEO of the hospital, but he's got 3 young kids, so it's very tough for him to attend meetings. So he comes to our breakfast once a month. There's service members, we're gonna invite those members to our service breakfast and require them to come to about 4 breakfasts a year. To inform, just to build that relationship. What we're hoping to do is, we're gonna provide more service, okay, locally, okay? And the club itself now has a satellite club, and we're also looking at expanding into some other towns that are close to us that are between like Birdsboro and Pottstown, like Douglasville area, if you know that area. So we're looking at expanding our surroundings because, again, it sounds like you do a good job with social media. David Akers is a social media district membership, district social media chair. So we're trying to help you in the district, help you build your club, you know, and again, your club doesn't have, it's not like, it's just a framework, okay? Rotary gives you the framework, but you guys have a lot of fun in this club, I can just tell by sitting here. So that's the good stuff, right? So there's clubs that don't have this much fun. I've been to some meetings. I thought I was gonna fall asleep at sometimes, you know, so.
Don't fall asleep here, you'll get a phone.
I talked about some of these things. We have a business card that we actually also give and we carry around with us that shows us our meeting. Question?
I was just wondering if you could hit F5 on that to go into present mode, which would make the screen bigger.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay?
That was bothering you the whole time, wasn't it?
Kind of.
Thank you. I like the Eagle shirt.
You still pay the fine.
Hey, Dave, I've got one for you.
Yep.
What's your elevator speech?
Yeah.
My elevator speech is, it depends on who I'm with, okay? The group that I'm with. Typically, I tell them it's the largest civic organization in the world. I got involved for business reasons. And we do a lot of great community things. And I name a couple of those community things that our club does. I would also do, and basically get their feedback. So it's usually like a quick type of thing. Where I'm gonna invite them to a meeting, or like even invite them, like if they live in Philadelphia, I have a connection in Philadelphia, so I would like tell them to go to a Rotary meeting there, okay? I may go with them, okay? So when we have a new member that fills out an application now, we want them to make it feel like it's a special thing to be a Rotarian, okay? Where the one thing that we did when we first started this initiative of bringing a lot of members in, one night we had 10 members join at one time, okay? Is your club ready for that? You know, is your club ready to bring 3 members in at one time, okay? So if you had a mixer, typically at a mixer, we bring in 3 to 6 members. The issue was it was the wow factor, okay? I said, hey, I joined the Rotary Club tonight. Now I got 2 other people that probably signed up, but maybe weren't ready, maybe didn't know the financial responsibilities, the commitment. So what we do now is we'll schedule lunch with the person that brought them in, okay? And then also maybe 2 or 3 other members, if we could make it. And we have lunch with them and just explain to them how Rotary's gonna go. Once the members join the Rotary Club, what we do is we have a fireside chat, we call. We used to do it by a fireplace years ago, so it's still called a fireside chat. But we actually invite the family into that meeting. So, you know, because you know, you're gonna get involved, you know, the spouses are gonna get involved, the kids are gonna get involved, you know. We also do things like, when I was president, we had a miniature golf tournament, okay? So everybody can play miniature golf, right? But people brought their grandkids, people brought their kids, okay? So that was a fun fair. One day I brought brown bags full of household goods and we played bingo, okay? Instead of a speaker. So think about mixing it up, keeping it fun, okay? Fun clubs will grow, okay? So again, if you like to go to work, it's like coming to Rotary. People schedule their day around Rotary. I try to make as many meetings as I possibly can. Also, you want to hear from these new members. I think one of the things is, you know, like if somebody was going to come and thinking about becoming a member today, that was a visitor, what do? You know, do you have a trifold? Do you have information about your club? There's clubs out there that don't do that, okay? So again, you know, you guys are pretty well-established clubs, and it seems like you're having fun, so that's 2 of the best things that you can do, okay? The other thing is how many members have you gotten in lately? You know, how'd you get those members, okay? Typically, it's members bringing new people in, right? But again, remind the membership about bringing members in, okay? Because it gets forgotten, okay? Because you're gonna have a bake sale, you're gonna have a golf tournament, okay? So now everybody's thinking about the golf tournament. Well, everybody that comes to that golf tournament, do you get their emails? Do you get them on the friends list, okay? Because now they're learning a little bit about Rotary because they came to your golf tournament, okay? So I picked up members that way from our golf tournament.
I want to talk, because on the list is the chamber.
Uh-huh.
And, a couple months ago, I went to a chamber event in town. I work in Bethlehem, and I went for business reasons. I'm a chamber member, but I was very surprised that on that list there were about 5 people in the room that were Rotarians, and they made a point of standing up and saying why they were there, and it caught me off guard. And I was like, yeah. When I stood up, we all had to introduce ourselves. I said, well, I happen to be a Rotarian. I wasn't here for that reason, but interestingly, I thought, wow, what an opportunity when the chamber does have mixers.
So one of the things that we did in Pottstown was we sponsored a breakfast, So we got that 2-minute speech inviting people from the chamber to our meetings. We're a member of the chamber. We're also, now the district is members of the Lehigh Valley Chamber, and we're thinking about joining the Reading Chamber. In Pottstown, we have a local chamber, so it's a little different. Upper Perk is the same way, they have a local chamber. I'm on the board at the Upper Perk, so it did help me because I had relationships there. So, another thing that you could do is, do you have any like local groups, you know, other groups that are like a local business association here in town? You know, like for instance, Ole has a business association. So we're thinking about making that possibly a satellite club out of Fleetwood or out of Birdsboro. So again, a satellite club would be, maybe you want to start a satellite club and just go after young professionals. You know, and because maybe they don't like to get up early in the morning and go to breakfast, okay? Maybe have a meeting once a quarter, once a month at a different time, you know? How's your due structure? So, you know, those are the things that you gotta think about, you know, if you wanna bring new members in. If not, what's gonna happen is you're gonna eventually start heading in the wrong direction, you know? I don't think this club's doing that, but there is clubs out there that that happens with, you know? There's clubs that are 10 people, and those 10 people like to have dinner together. So, you know, it's a dinner club that just, you know, and they do great things because they've probably been doing it for 20, 30 years, and they've been supporting the park or whatever that project is that's known in that community for the Rotary Club, but they're not growing their membership. And if they're not growing their membership, eventually it's gonna close up like we've seen. So the good thing about a lot of the clubs out there is they're starting to see that. So in Nazareth, they're gonna start maybe an E-club. It's gonna be a satellite club. And what they did was, they found the granddaughter of the president. She's in her 30s, and she's got three kids. And we're gonna kick off a meeting. We're gonna advertise it with the chamber. We're gonna have a network mixer coming up in October, and we're gonna follow that up with another one a month later. So again, we're hoping to get, you know, and to start a satellite club, you only need 8 people. So again, what some of these clubs are doing is, and I'm not telling you to change when you meet or anything like that, but just take a look at your club and yourself and think about, hey, you know, if we had one happy hour, do you think that would help? You know, Upper Perk, a lot of these new clubs only meet. Does Whitehall only meet twice a month? So a lot of new clubs only meet twice a month. Do you have too many meetings? You know, are you doing too many things? Sometimes, you know, and again, we did that in Pottstown. We thought we were raising money too many times. So again, this is something I can send you. We did a webinar chat. I touched base on a lot of these things. I could talk all day about stuff. But with about 5 minutes to go, I'd love to hear from some people in the room what your thoughts are about membership. Anything?
Dave, we've had discussions in the past about diversity in terms of the changing population and trying to diversify the club from an ethnic standpoint. Any thoughts on that? Are you looking at
So up in Pottstown, we're always going after certain, like the township supervisors, the presidents of the hospital, things like that. But we are looking at trying to get diversified, and we actually have. But like up in Reading, what we're doing is we're talking to the Latino community that has an association, okay? I don't think you have a Latino association out here in Emmaus, but you know, how do you touch that small group, you know?
Well, there's one in the chamber.
Is there?
Yeah, there's not in Bethlehem.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm in Emmaus, Bethlehem, Lehigh Valley, but
Right.
there's a Latino chamber, it's pretty big.
Okay, so I would definitely touch base with them, because that would actually help the whole district. So that's actually, I didn't know that, so that's a great thing possibly for me to do, you know? And the thing is if we can touch base with them and do maybe a project or two together with them, okay? You may have somebody that's in that group that lives in the Maze, right? You may have somebody that lives in Bethel. So again, they might not join your club, but wouldn't it be great if they joined some club in our district or even somewhere, anywhere? It would be a good thing. Because I think they feel that there's a separation, just like we do, right? We don't have no relationship. So it's how do you cross that relationship type of thing? So.
You were talking about younger professionals and millennials, and I'm gonna give my demographic speak, which I'm sure the bulk of you have heard at one point or another, because it's kind of a hot button with me. One of the things we talk about constantly is, millennials don't join service clubs, millennials aren't interested in Rotary. Well, it's not that millennials aren't interested in Rotary, it's late 20, early 30-somethings aren't interested in Rotary. When the Gen Xers were that old, they weren't in service clubs. When the baby boomers were that old, they weren't in service clubs. And when the greatest generation was that old, they were in Europe and the South Pacific. What we're seeing now is we're in a demographic trough right now for primary Rotary membership. Your average Rotarian is, probably late 30s to late 40s, early 50s, married with a couple of kids. That's the Gen Xers. And there's less Gen Xers than there are anybody else. If you look at the United States birth rates, they started to trough in 67, 68, 69 through the early 70s, and then they came back. So there's less potential Rotarians right now than there are 80-year-olds, and there are 17-year-olds, and there are 35-year-olds. So I think, as long as we position ourselves as for lack of a better word, an aspirational type social club, I think as the millennials age in to what has traditionally been Rotary membership, you are going to see a big uptick. The bottom line is there just aren't that many of that traditional Rotary age cohort. That's a depressed population right now in the United States.
So I agree with that, but the one thing is the reason that I'm starting a satellite club, okay, I'm not calling it a club. It's because, as you say, a lot of young people don't need to belong to a club. They want to do service. So think about how you could not change this club, but have a satellite club from this club to bring young people in, right? So you could do just a service group, okay? And call it a service group, the Emmaus service group, okay? And then, they would do more service, get that younger generation, Go after, do you have an Interact Club here? Okay. So again, I don't see that Interact Club coming, we haven't got any members from the Interact Club that we've had for a couple of years.
Okay. You have a huge gap too. I mean, you're going
Right.
from high school to
Exactly.
third.
But there is guys out there that join when they're 20 years old,
I mean, historically, Rotary Club was restricted to people under 30. Like, you
Right.
had to be 30 to be a Rotarian. If you wanted to do that, you were a Rotaract.
Right. So, but again, that's the things of Rotary, the old stale mail club, okay? It's gotta go away, right? So, again, we need to make those changes. So think about, and don't be afraid to try something. It's not, so you try it. It works or doesn't work. Because what I wanna know is what works for your club and how you brought members in. Because we need to share that with the whole district. So, thanks. I got cards up here. If anybody, members, need to talk, I'll come out to Whitehall if you need me to, and have a great day. Thanks for your time.
Two quick announcements, maybe three. First one is, there's a membership meeting directly following this. John and Denise, if you guys want to stay and partake, we're happy to have you. It should be more than 15 minutes. Second thing is September 27th, remember, it's the Legends of Allentown. It's going to be 4:30 to 6:30. Christine is providing everything for the evening for our social event.
That's social, that's not a replacement for the morning meeting?
No.
Okay, just check.
Yeah, it's just a social. Bring a friend, bring a guest, a prospective member for that. I'll keep reminding you every week. All right, please rise and all say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.